Hello students, today we are going to start an interesting topic from our NCERT textbook, that is chapter number 6, Combustion and Flame. So in this chapter we will discuss the following topics, that are combustion, combustible substance and non-combustible substance, condition for combustion, ignition temperature, flammable substances, how to control fire, types of combustion, flame and its structure, fuel and its efficiency, harmful effects of burning of fuels. Before going to these topics, I'll test your previous knowledge. So, how a substance burn? Yeah, you are true. A substance can burn only in the presence of oxygen, what we have learned in junior classes. Have you seen the burning of magnesium ribbon? How it burns? It burns with a bright white color light. What happens when sodium metal is come in contact with water? Yeah, you are true. It bursts into fire instantly. So whether it is the burning of magnesium ribbon or the reaction of metal, sodium metal with water, or burning of LPG or burning of anything, in chemistry it is called combustion. So let us find out what is combustion. It is a chemical process in which a substance react with oxygen to give off heat and light. So combustion is nothing but it is burning. So we can define combustion like this also: the process of burning of a substance in air or oxygen with the evolution of heat and light is known as combustion. So this is one picture of the process of combustion. Now my question is, can you name some substance that can undergo combustion? That is LPG, petrol, diesel, coal, etc. So what they will be called? They will be called combustible substance. So the substance that undergoes combustion is called combustible substance. They are also called fuel, and fuel may be solid, liquid or gas. Some examples of combustible substances are crude, coal, petrol, kerosene, LPG, etc. Here is some pictures of combustible substance. For example, stone. Can you say stone is a combustible substance? Obviously no, because it cannot undergo combustion. So the substances that doesn't undergo combustion, what they will be called? They will be called non-combustible substance. So the substance that doesn't undergo combustion is called non-combustible substance. For example, rock, steel, water, sand, etc. They are all non-combustible substance. Here are the pictures of some non-combustible substances: sand, stones, etc. Now, condition for combustion. That means, for combustion, what are the requirements or what are the criteria of combustion? To understand this, let us perform one activity. Dear students, we have two lamps. One is filled with kerosene and one is empty. Let us try to light these two lamps. Just observe carefully. You see, the lamp which is filled with kerosene, it is burning, but the other lamp which is empty, that is not burning. This lamp is filled with kerosene, so it is burning, but the other one is not burning. What does it mean? So for the process of combustion, fuel is required. So the presence of fuel is very much essential for the process of combustion. Next, we have a candle here or lamp here, and we have also mastic here, but the candle is not burning here. Why? Because we are not providing temperature to it. So after providing temperature, it will start burning or it will light. That means for the process of combustion, what is required? Light or temperature is required. So providing temperature, that is essential. So now we have two candles here, both are burning. So we will cover one candle with the help of a glass and let us find out what is happening. Watch carefully. Yeah, now the candle is off, which is covered with glass. So what it happens? As we know that the oxygen present inside the glass finished, that's why it is off. So that means that for combustion, the presence of oxygen is required. These are the conditions for combustion, that are presence of fuel or combustible substance, providing temperature, and this minimum temperature is also called as ignition temperature, which is required for combustion, what we will study in the following slides. Then presence of oxygen. So this is your fire triangle. That means for the process of combustion, all these three things are required, that is oxygen, heat and fuels. Next, come to your ignition temperature. What is ignition temperature? The lowest temperature at which a combustible substance burns is called ignition temperature. Different substances have different ignition temperature. That means some substances they require very less amount of temperature to catch fire, like petrol, diesel, coal. But some substances like wood, they require very large amount of heat. And that's why you can say that ignition temperature is different for different substances. Here we can see the list of some substances, combustible substances, and their ignition temperature, like phosphorus, white phosphorus, its combustion temperature is only 35 degrees Celsius. That means it can burn in the atmosphere itself. That's why phosphorus is kept under water, we have learned, and or sodium metal also kept under kerosene, because it also, when it comes in contact with water, it catches fire automatically. And these are the other substances and their ignition temperature. Next, inflammable substances. The few substances, as I told you, they have very low ignition temperature and they can burn very easily, or they can catch fire very easily, and that type of substances are called inflammable substances. Some examples of inflammable substances are petrol, diesel, LPG, etc. Dear students, while we are handling these inflammable substances, we have to be very careful. That's why when we go to petrol pump, some instructions are given that not to smoke or not to use mobile phone, because petrol is such a inflammable substance. It can get the ignition temperature and it can catch fire very quickly. Next, the basic principle to control fire. From this fire triangle, we know that for the process of combustion or for the process of fire, oxygen, fuel and heat is required. So the simple principle is that if we eliminate any one of these substance, we can easily control over the fire. So the basic principle are, by cutting off the supply of oxygen, we can control over the fire. For example, suppose a person is burning, what we do? In common sense, we take a blanket and cover it. By covering it, we can cut off the supply of oxygen and we can control over the fire easily. By lowering the ignition temperature. So how can we lower the ignition temperature? We can lower the ignition temperature by adding water. We can lower the ignition temperature and control over the fire very easily. By separating the combustible substance. So if combustible substance is there, we can separate the combustible substance and we can control over the fire also. Applying these three principles, we can control over the fire very easily. So to understand how can we lower the ignition temperature, we will perform one activity, that is paper cup activity. Dear students, we have two paper cup here and it is empty. So let us try to burn this paper cup. You observe carefully. You see the paper cup is burning very quickly because you know the ignition temperature of the paper is very low. Now let us do one thing. We will pour some water into the paper cup very slowly and try to burn it. You see, the paper cup is not burning. Why? Because while you have put the water into this paper cup, the ignition temperature is lower. That's why the paper is not burning. Even we can boil the water in the paper cup. So from this activity, we can know that we can lower the ignition temperature by adding water. So based on this activity and above discussion, we can control over the fire easily. So let us go to fire extinguisher. So water is the best fire extinguisher because it can lower the ignition temperature as well as it can cut off the supply of oxygen by spraying. But we cannot use water in every cases. When the cause of the fire is electrical short circuit, it may give us electric shock. That's why in that case, or in the case of petrol, diesel, we may use carbon dioxide as a fire extinguisher. So most of the fire extinguisher, it contains carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas, being heavier than oxygen, it covers like a blanket. Since the contact between the fuel and oxygen is cut off, the fire is controlled. So in this principle, the fire extinguisher works. So in this session, we will discuss this much topics and the rest topics we will study in the next video. Thank you.